Hello, everybody,
Hi.
and welcome to Business TV today with John Dunwell, or as he likes to be known, Mr. Merchandise. I mean, that's quite catchy, isn't it? Mr. Merchandise. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, today, basically, we got John, who runs Community Communication Limited and helps businesses create positive brand impact through the medium of branded promotional merchandise. So today we're going to be talking about promotional products and their place in people's marketing. So hello, John.
Hiya, Gareth and Gareth.
Yeah, it's the Gareth show. Yes, I know. We've actually got another member to our networking called Gareth as well. So now it's getting even more confusing. So yes, but as you know, because you were here this morning and you met Gareth Allen. Hi, Gareth. So basically, that's too many Gareths in one sentence. I wonder how Facebook's subtitles are now actually processing all of those Gareths. But anyway, so John, Mr. Merchandise. I love the tag. I love the moniker. It's really good. At the end of the day, I think the first question I ever asked you was, what's the weirdest thing you've ever had to brand? And the list, I think, is still coming on from that conversation. Nothing rude yet, though.
Nothing rude yet, no.
No.
Oh yeah.
Nothing rude yet. So tell us more about, how did you get into branding things?
I'm not sure how much of a backstory you want to this, but
tell us what you want.
I mean, my life now in merchandise is only the second half of my career. I following redundancy in 2003, I started my own business in 2004. That was with a small print and copy shop in Bedale, where I now live in North Yorkshire, and kind of had a can-do approach. If anybody came in for anything, I would say yes, I can do that, and then if I couldn't, I'd figure out a way to do it. So I'd suppose been in business for three years or so when the first person came in and asked if I could brand up some pencils, and I said yeah, I'm sure, and then kind of figured out a way to get some branding on pencils, and at that point anything on paper I could print, and even some things like branding on t-shirts I could sort out, but branding on round cylindrical things like pencils was a bit of a challenge. So long story short, that was 2007. So I quickly boned up on opportunities, went along for the first time to a promotional products trade show, and that kind of business has gradually developed from there. Things took a bit of a turn in 2013, however, when I had the opportunity to sell my print production business, and I mean, it was never a massive business. There's only 5 of us employed in the business at its height, but I sold that. The facilities, the staff stayed with the print production, and I went independent as a marketer, specializing in branded promotional merchandise.
That's really quite good. I love that attitude of yes. I've done that myself several times. Can you do this? Yeah. How the hell am I going to do that? But where there's a will, there's a way, is the saying, isn't it?
Indeed.
And so then you went off and you realized that basically, obviously, you must have had an interest in marketing itself, to put the two together, because at the end of the day, in reality, branding is on pretty much, I'm looking around my desk, it's a mess, but I'm thinking there's branding on everything, apart from my post-its, but they don't need branding.
Need to get that sorted.
They've already got the brand in their name.
I have.
Yeah, there we are. Yours have got branding, but everything has got branding. It's really quite good. And when I asked you tongue in cheek, what's the weirdest thing you've ever branded? Then I didn't expect you to tell us so many things that you had done. So it's quite interesting. What do you think then going forward? The whole branded items in marketing. What's your take on that? What's your kind of view? on branded merchandise
branded
and
merchandise.
marketing being entwined?
Well, I mean, a branded item is an advertising tool, marketing
Yeah.
advertising tool.
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading in my new edition of the Trade magazine that advertising spend is up, business confidence is returning post-COVID.
Okay.
Having said that, I'm sure the issue was put to bed before the Ukrainian conflict kicked off,
Yeah.
but and I'm not sure what that's going to do for business confidence here in the UK. But marketing is one of those fickle things, really. If there, when times get tough, the marketing budget is one of the first to get cut.
Weirdly.
But well, yeah, I mean, it makes no sense to me. But
No.
but then when times get better, it's one of the first budgets to be expanded.
Yeah.
I think branded promotional merchandise has a unique position within marketing. It's one of the only advertising methods where people actually thank you for receiving your advert. And the kind of advertising message lives on long after the moment of first impression, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they last. It is a lastable item, isn't it? You know, I showed these post-its. I've had those post-its for, well, probably 3 years.
Mm.
You know, they came in a lovely little presentation booklet that you open up, and there's all different sizes, and they're all branded, and I still use them today. So they've got shelf life.
Well, that's right. The enduring quality. They live a life, and if it's a practical item, people will continue to use it. And every time they pick it up, they'll be reminded of you and your services. So in that respect, it's a really smart way to invest money. Having said that, it's only a smart way to invest money if it's part of a planned strategy. I mean, one thing I do find a lot is promotional products do create curiosity. They get a number of people inquiring about promotional products because they're curious, rather than because they've actually thought through their marketing. So, I mean, at the risk of going off on a soapbox here, I mean, successful
to that today.
Successful marketing is firstly and foremostly about targeting your audience. It's then about putting together a message that's going to resonate with them and be a compelling message. And then the last stage is how you're going to deliver the message to your audience. And only at that stage does branded merchandise come into play. But I mean, it comes into play along with a vast range of other alternatives. So it could be social media or digital marketing. It could be leaflets, posters. It could be television or radio advertising. I mean, they're all vehicles to kind of get a message to an audience. If you get the message wrong or you get the audience wrong, the whole thing will kind of implode on itself.
I think quality as well comes into play, because I've had branded pens. I was trying to find some. I'll try and cover up, but you know, you get the bog standard kind of pen. Now, I got this pen, which has a torch, which the batteries run out, little thing on the end, and it's run out. But I've kept the pen because I keep, every time I'm looking at stationery, I always think, oh, see if because I love the pen. The feel of the pen is just amazing, and I've kept it even though it's run out. Same with this one as well. And I'm like, I gotta get refills for these, but they're not so easy to find, unfortunately. So it's quite a weird refill. But I keep looking, but I've kept the pen. So I think the quality. I mean, okay, I've been in Yorkshire for quite a long time now, so every time I go to a trade show, I always walk out with a good handful of pens, you know, and I'll use them until they're done, and then I'll chuck them, you know. But yeah, I think when it comes to your branding, you've got to have a quality product to start with.
It certainly helps, and even more so if your own brand is one that claims some kind of quality. The promotional products you choose should
Yes.
reflect your own branding.
Yeah, totally.
So if you're aiming, particularly if you're aiming at a prestige market, don't use cheap products. You need to invest a little more in good quality items.
Yeah. That's the refill if you know of any.
I can't quite see it on this, but if you take a still photo and send it over to me, I shall see what I can do.
There you go.
Brilliant.
You'll be able to use your pen
I'll be
again.
able to use my pen again. That's really good. I'm quite happy with that. That's just made my day. But I will get on to that.
Failing that, I'll send you one of my posh pens.
I suppose it also matters what you're going to do with that promotional product. If you're going to a trade fair where, like, Gareth goes and just pinches pens left, right, and
hey,
centre.
you were with me. Don't deny it. You were with me. You got loads as well.
Yes, but it doesn't sound as good if I'm just blaming you, does it? So going back to what I said, if you'd like Gareth and goes to these trade shows and just pinches pens off people, then you need something of a value that you're not going to lose so much money. But if you've got something that I'm going to a client and I want to give them something with their product or their service that they've bought from us, then that needs to be a little bit more quality, in my opinion. Now, that's what you think.
That's true. Like I say, it all requires part of the strategy. Having pens that are given away willy-nilly on a trade stand is the incentive to get you to go over and engage with them. So basically what they're doing is rewarding your turning up at their stand and having a conversation and hopefully getting your contact details by giving you a pen or some other freebie. In that respect, the item probably doesn't need to be that expensive. If you're having a more direct approach to marketing in using promotional merchandise, this is where, like I say, having a targeted list of prospects and putting together a good, compelling message, supporting it with a promotional product does need to be more carefully chosen, probably of higher value, better quality, and it's going to stick around if it's kind of a practical item that's going to be welcomed and received positively by the person that's getting it. The promotional item very often is the I call it a pattern interrupt. So if you get a pile of post on your doormat, the one that's going to cause you some intrigue is the one that's got some sort of three-dimensional quality to it. Lumpy mail, as it's often called. Or a package, a box or something. That's the one that's going to intrigue you. That's the one that's guaranteed to get opened. And having stopped and caught your attention, it then is the quality of the message that takes over. And of course, it's got to be relevant to the person that's receiving it. In a wacky kind of example, I say it's kind of pointless trying to sell lawnmowers to people that live in high-rise flats. Targeting is absolutely crucial. Get the targeting wrong, and it doesn't matter how good the offer, it doesn't matter how good the promotional item is to grab attention. I'm sure you get the attention and you'll get interest, but it's not relevant. Folks won't buy
it's just wasting your money. But also the promotional item's got to be has a link to your business, in my opinion. So, for me, we sell cars, we lease vehicles. An ice scraper, promoted, branded, is linked to the vehicle, if you like. So it's something that if I was going to give a cup away, a mug, it's not really linked to the what we do kind of thing. So I think it's got to be a part of a whole strategy, hasn't it? It's not just a matter of I need some pens. What do you want the pens for? What's the link to your business kind of thing?
That's certainly a fair point. I guess at some point you're going to want somebody to sign a contract, though, and it's often useful to have a pen to sign that sales contract. Or leasing contract. So pens are one of the top selling promotional products. I think statistically, bags sort of sneaking at number one. So pens are always they're a perennial. You can't go far wrong with a pen. But you're absolutely right, Gareth. The more relevant it is to the products or services that you're providing. So motoring related items, ice scrapers, tire
Happy
gauge
days.
checkers, or car key rings, a whole range of stuff
Yeah.
would be relevant. But it doesn't always have to be relevant if you're just trying to engage attention in the first place.
Yeah, it depends what your marketing plan is, doesn't it? If your marketing is blanket, then you're just trying to raise awareness, then it's something completely different from something being targeted.
Yeah.
And it's how you build these into your plan
That's true.
to work.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. It's a psychology as well as just everything else, isn't it? It's not just product, it's a psychology of stuff as well.
Well, it absolutely is. I don't know whether you're familiar with the law of reciprocity. If you give somebody something, they'll want to give you something back.
Give us gain.
Yeah. So actually, which is another reason why having sort of free giveaways at exhibition stands is a way to get people to part with their contact details.
Data.
So exchanging valuable information for a small gift.
Yeah.
So that there's an exchange of value taking place there.
Yeah. So you do quite a lot of trade shows then, John? Have you got any coming up?
I exhibit at a small number. I do have one coming up soon. That's the Teesside Expo for anybody that's in the North Yorkshire Teesside area.
Okay.
At Wynyard Hall on the 24th of March, I think it is.
Right.
I've also committed to one later in the year, which is actually down in Birmingham, which will be the biggest kind of expo commitment I've made for a long time.
Is that the NEC?
No, it's at the ICC, is it? International Convention Centre.
Yeah.
And it's part of the Entrepreneurs Circle. If you're familiar with that, they have a Getting and Keeping Customers convention in the autumn. And I do know that the guy that's behind Entrepreneurs Circle, Nigel Bottrell, is a big advocate of promotional merchandise and using it to grab attention in the marketing process. So I figured that I would go along and offer the services that Nigel's advocating.
Yeah, why not? You're in the right setting. It's good. So if anybody wants to come along and have a chat with you, then you'll know where he'll be. So and I'll be there for some free pens. What?
You'll need a bigger car, for all the free pens you get.
I know, free pens galore. It's just an obsession.
You're right. Do you write enough to use them?
No, that's the problem. Not anymore. I used to. I actually use a pencil, to be honest with you. But there we are. It's good to have fun with free pens. So well, I mean, at the end of the day, I've got to ask and put anybody who's watching out of their misery. Name a few of the weirdest things or the hardest things you've ever had to brand.
I should have been prepared for this question.
I ask you it all the time. So
well, you do, yeah. And I'm never quite good when I put on the spot of thinking of things. So what I've placed orders for in the recent past, besides pens and mugs, I've had inquiries for the Queen's Jubilee, some souvenirs for the Queen's Jubilee event coming up in June.
Wow.
So that's slightly unusual. But I've placed an order this week for some kites, pocket kites at that. So when you're not flying it, you can fold it down and put it in your pocket.
That's quite cool.
With a kite in your pocket. Oh, what have you got? Oh, I've got this screwdriver just in case I need to use. Oh, I've got a kite just in case it gets windy.
So
that's weird.
Other recent orders, which are slightly unusual, greaseproof paper, tissue paper, branded with a company's logo.
Hard to print on.
Well, that's not my problem.
All right, okay. Yeah, you just,
So-
yeah,
as long
you just
as,
right, yeah.
as long as the finished product looks good.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Yeah. Any
Um,
others?
My mind's gone to jelly. Can't think of any, Gareth.
Can't think of
Sorry.
any. Right, okay. But there we are. Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, anything really could be branded, couldn't it?
Pretty well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been asked for things which have been difficult to brand onto. One of the odder things in the recent past was bowling balls, 10-pin bowling balls,
Okay.
to be branded. Also yoga mats. Just the nature of yoga mats made it slightly difficult to print onto, but it is
Yeah.
possible. So yeah, some things. I think it's the way yoga mats kind of flex that it makes the branding in danger of coming off too easily.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
10-pin bowling balls, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. It would rub off after a while, though, wouldn't it?
Well, you'd think so, because it batters into the pins, doesn't it? So you'd think
Yeah.
Unless you lacquered it afterwards, but yeah.
Again, I wouldn't know that level of detail.
No,
No, exactly. You just
Inquisitive
have to
mind.
put the branding on. So if you can do it, great. It goes back to your can-do attitude of you see, yes, I can do that. Now let's find a way of doing it. So, going back a bit in time, then, John, what advice would you give your younger self?
This is a toughie, really. I mean, have that can-do attitude. Certainly, when I sort of went self-employed, got work for myself instead of having a proper job. Know and understand how long it takes to establish a business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Certainly, I've when I had the print and copy shop, I did jobs for so many startup businesses who sadly weren't around a year or two later.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest reasons for that, two reasons, I think. One is just didn't have an understanding as to how long you have to bankroll a startup business before it starts making money and you're in a position to get paid back.
Yep.
And understand also that that marketing is the success of your business. Doesn't matter what your business is or does, what service or products you provide. If you don't focus on the marketing, you kind of stuff, really.
It's funny. We've got a friend we know, Andrew, who does coaching, and he always says it amazes him with startups when he sees they get pushed to having a website and having business cards and this and that, and they haven't got any clients, and they're already out of pocket.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that the focus is all about, I must set up this wonderful stall, rather than, right, I got to go out and get clients, and then going out, networking, meeting people, getting clients, and then getting all of these prettifications on top of it. And it is amazing.
They're drilled into that getting the website is going to get them clients.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's just a post-it note on the internet.
It's a bit like when John opened his shop in 2003 or whatever it was, and you opened the doors and you thought, why ain't anybody coming in?
Yeah.
Well, they won't come in unless I tell them about it and I do some marketing. I do some networking and tell people I'm here and start to build a client base. Just to open some doors doesn't mean people are going to wander in and say, oh, what do you do?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that first week I was trading, day one, I took £11. Wow. Day two, I'm not sure I took anything at all. Day three, it was near £50. Day 4 and 5 still didn't reach £100. So by the end of the first week, I was thinking, is this ever going to work? But obviously, we managed to build it up over the subsequent years. And exactly. From day one, where it was just me, to 2008, just before the credit crunch, the business was doing a nice 6-figure turnover. I employed 4 other people, so there's 5 of us in the business. But like I say, it took 4 years to get up to that point.
Yeah.
And most of the first year, it just didn't seem to be happening.
Yeah.
And consequently, I wasn't getting an income out of that. So, like saying, advice, my younger advice before starting a business, but advice to anybody else thinking of starting a business, understand that you may have to bankroll your enterprise for quite a while before you start getting an income out of it.
Yeah, I worked part-time in a bookies in town. So I worked evenings and weekends part-time when I was setting Clockwork Eye up. And that's what I had to do because I couldn't earn enough to just be like, oh, look, we're majorly successful and all that. You don't, it takes time. But having that persistence and that belligerence of not giving up is what you need. And that can-do attitude, like you say, very much so. So any advice anybody else starting up, it isn't easy.
No, it's not.
You know?
And what do you want to achieve by the end of the year then, John? Where do you see Mr. Merchandise going?
Well, this is another tough question. This year there's a song haunting me. The Beatles, When I'm 64. That's because this year I reached that milestone. And actually, I'm not looking for massive business growth at this stage in my career. Indeed, I've got half an eye towards retirement. So it's a significant year in other respects. In October, I will have been married to my good lady wife for 40 years.
Wow.
So we're planning one of those holidays of a lifetime, a transatlantic cruise on the Queen Mary, I think.
Nice. Very nice.
I'm tagging on a few days in New York at the end. So to be able to pay for that will be quite good.
There you go.
Either just either that or stow away.
Yeah. I'm not sure that's going to give the same kind of experience, Gareth.
Hide in one of the lifeboats.
Not going to be the same kind of experience.
No.
So finally, John, what do you use in your daily working life with regard to computer apps, website tools, products that you use that make your life easier that would probably help our viewers?
Well, you primed me that you were going to ask this question, so I gave some thought to it. And I'm a bit of a dinosaur. I mean, I'm not big on apps. I looked on my phone to see which are the most recent apps that I've used, and they are Facebook and LinkedIn, and then kind of shopping apps like Nectar and Shell Go Plus and stuff like that. So using apps from a work efficiency point of view, apart from the social media, I mean, I do put a fair bit of time and effort and commitment into building contacts on LinkedIn primarily. In terms of when I'm sat at my desk, the computer programs that I use most, Google is a big friend of mine.
Yeah,
I use Google a lot, and when I'm out on the road, Google Maps is also a bonus to have. That is one of the other apps that I use quite frequently. I use CorelDRAW for any artwork that I have to create related to customers' artwork for promotional merchandise.
design.
I use a paid version of Adobe PDF software, because that then gives me some ability to sort of actually adapt and edit PDFs.
Yeah.
Which is useful. But that's about it, really. Like I say, I'm not on the leading edge of
It's all right, John.
usage.
Neither am I. Neither am I. I've still got my book and my pen. That's all I need.
Well, and indeed, I mean, I don't even use a digital diary. I still use a Filofax for my organizing my time.
Not? Why not? Indeed.
Hey, it never goes wrong.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. It's quite interesting. Well, that's really good. Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, John, I will say, if anybody wants to have a chat with you and that, to basically go to a trade show or look you up on LinkedIn, you can't miss him. He looks like his logo, which I thought was quite actually attention to detail wise. I thought, you know what? Have you got lots of yellow shirts?
Well, a few, but we do have a washing machine.
I was going to say, I've actually got your YouTube channel up next to me, and it's consistent. It really is. I think that's brilliant. Loads of red ties and yellow shirts. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, John, for coming along today.
Thank you.
Good talking to you.
Likewise.
We've got to wrap up because the hour is nearly upon us. But if anybody's interested in coming along and joining, John has recently joined 1 Hour Networking, and you can come along and have a chat with him. So if you want to come along to 1 Hour Networking and meet other businesses, then basically go to onehournetworking.co.uk and you see all of our events there. We do different types of events. We do Zoom meetings on Wednesdays. We have a virtual world. And we have interactive networking on the last Friday of the month. And if you like quizzes, John, you've been to our quiz before. Are you going to come to our TV program quiz?
I may do. I do watch a little bit of television, but
Right.
in general, I'm not good at quizzes. So,
But you've been to two.
well, I know.
It is more about the networking.
It is more about the networking and the fun, really. But yes, so we do a quiz on the third Thursday of the month. This month it's the 17th of March, and it will be on TV programs. Next month it will be films, and then we've got Dreaded Sport in May, which will be interesting to see how many people turn up to the sports quiz. Be me and you, Gareth.
It probably will.
So yes, thank you very much, John. I've put a link to your YouTube channel and your website in the description of this feed, so basically people can come along and visit, and we will catch everyone a little bit later.
Great, thank you.
Cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.